So as we have seen that whenever we click on a record, it opens up in a certain page layout on Salesforce, right? So every record opens in a page layout. So there is a page format in which the record opens up. Just give me a moment. Let me show it to you how it looks. Okay. So whenever you go to any object and click on a record, it opens up with a certain page layout, right? So this is how that looks. This is how the page layout looks. Let me open any other record. We cancel. Right. So this is how it looks. Right. This is how the page layout looks for this page. Right. Now the thing is that if I want to change the page layout, okay, now your question can be, why would you want to change the page layout? There can be a lot of reasons for that. One can be ease of the user, the way the user wants to see the fields. The user might want to see some of the fields at the top, which are the more important fields, and the ones which are not that important, he might want to see those fields a little, below the important ones. So depending on the requirement of the user, the way the user wants to view the fields, I might need to change the page layout. That is one requirement. Okay. Second requirement can be that sometimes you don't want the end users to see all the fields. So you might want to hide some of the fields as well. Okay. So let's say out of this annual revenue is a field you don't want the end user to see. You might want to hide this field from the end users. So that is again where your page layout will help you. Okay. So this is about the fields that we have here. Apart from the fields, you can see that these are all related lists. Okay. This contacts, opportunities, cases, open activities, these are all a related list. Okay. Related list means the list of child records. Okay. So do you want to see the list of child records on the page or not? Okay. Let's say now contacts is a related list of account because contact is a child of account. Now do you want to see the contacts list on this accounts page or you do not want to see that? That is one thing. Second thing is okay. The second thing is do you want to see the related list in this order or you want to have a separate order or a different order for it? Let's say cases should come at the top, contacts should go below cases, that way. Okay. So these are the things which you have to look into and you have to understand that how you want the page to be designed, where you want the fields to be placed, where you want the related list to be placed. Based on that you decide what kind of a page layout will be required. Okay. So basically what all things we control on the page layout? One, layout of fields. Which field will be placed where? Second, hide any fields if required. So one, you can set the order of fields. Second, you can hide any fields if required. Third thing that you can do with the page layout is make a field required or read only. Okay, page layout also allows you to make some of the fields required or read only. Fourth is hide or show related lists. Fifth is set the order of related lists. Okay, so these are things that we do using a page layout. One, we can change the position of the fields. Second, we can hide some of the fields which we don't want to display on the display to the end users. Third is we can make a field required or read only. We have an option of making some of the fields as required or read only. Okay. Fourth is we can hide or show the related lists. So that is the fourth option. And fifth is we can set the order of the related lists. So we are able to set the order of related list, which related list should appear at the top, and that is okay. So where do we go and change the page layout? Every object has at least one page layout. Okay, minimum one page layout is there for every object. So let's say we have accounts. Okay, so I want to go and change the page layout for accounts. You just need to go to setup. For doing that, you need to go to setup, go to customize, then go to accounts, and then go to page layouts. Okay, setup, customize, accounts, and then go to page layouts. Under that page layout thing, go to the account layout. So there are see 1 2 3 4 layouts here. Okay, I told you minimum one page layout is there for every object, whatever object you have here, standard, custom. Okay, so for account there are 4. Let's say I want to edit this one. This is the page layout editor screen. This is where you can edit your page layout. You want to move some fields from here to there, just drag and put it here. Facts, you want to take it here. Okay, move the fields. Website I want at the top. Ticker symbol I don't want, remove the field. I told you you can remove the fields. The ones that you don't want, remove them. Okay. SIC code I don't need. I need to bring one field from here to this side. Account number I will bring here. Okay. So this way you can set up your page layout. This is how you will do it. Clear? Now the next thing is, once you are done with this part, your page layout is ready, or at least we are done with the first two things, how to set the layout of the fields and hide any fields. Okay, we also have an option of making a few fields required or read only from page layout. How do you do that? Let's say you want type field to be a required field, so you just need to go to this field, click on properties. Okay, this icon, click on properties, and when you click on properties, then you have that option of making it read only or required, whatever you want. Okay, so make it required from here. Now this has become a required field, a mandatory field. So end user needs to enter data into this to be able to create the record. Clear? Okay. So we have understood the concept of page layout. Okay, read only, required. Now how do you bring in the related list? So you will see that if you scroll down, the related lists are listed here. If you don't want some of the related list, you can just remove it. If you want to change the order, you can just change it like this. Bring opportunities here. Okay. Yeah. So now opportunities is at the top, and then there is contacts. Okay. So this is all depending on the requirement of your end users. How do they want to see the fields, which all fields they want to see, which all fields should be required for the users, and the way they want to see the related lists. Okay. Now we are clear with page layout thing. We have understood how do we make changes on the page layout. Let me know if you have any questions here. Do we have any questions? No? Okay. Now if we are okay on this part, now we'll talk about the next step. What is that? We saw that account had multiple page layouts. So once you have made these changes, you just need to go and click on save. Okay. So once you have made the changes, please make sure that you go and click on save. Okay. So this is required. If you don't save it, then the changes will not be saved. Now we have seen that account had multiple page layouts. Go to account, page layouts. You find multiple page layouts, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright. So if it has 4 page layouts, why does it have 4 page layouts? That is again question that we need to understand. Why does for one object, why do we need 4 different page layouts, right? Why does an object have multiple page layouts? Can anyone think of it? Why do we have 4 different page layouts for accounts or for any other object? I can see 1 page layout, right? Why they have created 4 page layouts? Just give it a guess. No, no one.
For different kind of activities.
No, you are close, but not for different kind of activities. Different pages for different users, different profiles. Got that? Some users may need a different, let's say you have a sales team and then you have a customer support team. The sales team wants to view the data in a different layout, and the customer support team wants to view the data in a completely different layout. Possible, right? That is where this concept of page layout, multiple page layouts. If you can see here, account, marketing layout, sales layout, support layout, right? So these teams might want to see the pages in different formats. The layouts they might want is different. Okay, for customer support team, you might need to make some of the fields as read only so that they don't make any changes by mistake. They just need to see the data. So the page layout that you design for the customer support, you will make most of the fields read only. The one that you design for the sales team, you will make most of the fields for them as required so that they enter the details into that those fields. For marketing team, you might want to display some other information for that part. So that is the reason why it allows us, Salesforce allows us to have multiple page layouts for same object, because you can have different profiles for your different users, different teams, different departments. So different page layouts as well. Data is all same. Data is not changing. The field is not being deleted. It is just that we are playing with the properties of the field here. We can make the page field visible. We can make it hidden. We can just make it read only. We can make it required. And the beauty is in that if I make certain changes on this page layout, that does not affect the other page layout. If I make a field required on this, that becomes required only for marketing people. It does not become required for sales people. So that is the nice thing. Sometimes you will have that kind of requirement. I mean, I'll just give you a very simple example. You might have seen, some places when you go for applying, maybe for a bank account or for a loan or whatever. These guys in the office, they will tell you that, okay, you fill in the main fields and leave everything else blank. We will fill it later on. That must have happened to you as well, right? A lot of times they say just here, write your name and these things here and leave everything, we will fill it later, right? Sometimes you do not want your customer to spend a lot of time filling in the entire form, right? So you might want your customer only to fill a few fields. However, if the employee is filling it, your company's employee is filling it, you want him to fill all the fields. He should not leave fields blank. Right, you should try and put as much information as possible, right? So that is sometimes these kind of forms can be used by your end user as well. So you have an option. We will do it later in our training. We have an option of putting a form on the website to get the data into Salesforce. Okay, so kind of connecting your website with the Salesforce thing. So we'll do this example after a few more sessions. But the thing is that when you have that kind of requirement for your customer, you might want some of the fields to be not required. He can skip those fields. But when your employee is entering, then you want those fields to be required. That ways, right? So depending on the requirements, you can have multiple page layouts. Okay. And then how do you assign these page layouts to the profiles? Like now I have 4 page layouts here for account. How do I assign these page layouts to the profiles? From here, page layout assignment. Click on this. Okay. And here you will have the option of setting the page layout for every profile. Each and every profile you can set up a page layout. You can click on edit assignment and set up a page layout for that. Click on edit assignment. So let's say for marketing user you want to use marketing profile, marketing page layout. Then there is, yeah. For my profile you want to use sales layout. So you can use different layouts for different pages, different profiles. Okay, and then click on save. So depending on your profile, you will get to see the page layout. Like a system administrator will get to see account layout. A standard user will get to see this. Marketing user will get to see this layout. Clear? Okay, so I think that's about our page layout thing. Let me know if you have any questions here. So the next thing that we are going to talk about is page layout. Now we understand. Next thing that we are going to talk about is about the required fields. Okay, what is a required field? Required field is a mandatory field, right? Now we have that option of making fields required on the page layout. Okay, we can make fields required on page layout. Is there any other option of making a field required? Is there any other option of making a field required? On page layout you can make a field required. You must have seen this thing earlier as well. Somewhere you must have seen this option. Making field required. Where did we see that?
Is it while making the custom objects fields we
Yes.
make it as required?
Yes, right, absolutely correct. So while you create a field, at that time you have a checkbox which says make it a required field, right? So while creating the field as a field property, one of the properties or attributes of the field can be required. Okay. So the other option of making a field required is make field required while creating it. So that's the other option of making a field required. So we have these two options. Make field required on page layout, and the other option is make field required while creating the field. So the point is, what is the difference between making a field required while you were creating it and making a field required on the page layout? Can you think of a difference? What would be the difference if I make a field required while I was creating the field, and if I make a field required on the page layout? What will be the difference? Can you think of a difference? Some time back, 2-3 minutes back, we just talked on that part. So can you relate to that and think of the reason or think of the difference?
Same like the different type of user things come into matter. Like suppose a phone number which used to be entered mandatory by a person, but that does not need to be shown to the other guy or something. Is that related to that one or no?
Yeah, it is related to that one exactly. I mean, you are into the right direction. Thinking is exactly correct. So if you make a field required while creating it, then it is called universally required. Means will be required by everyone, no matter the CEO of the company is filling in information or the sales representative or the customer. Then it becomes universally required, no exceptions. Everyone will have to fill that. Okay. So you cannot say that, okay, well now for this group of users I don't want it to be required, right? So universally required is required for everyone. Required on page layout is only required by the profile which is using that page layout. Got that thing? So if you have that kind of a requirement that some people, for some people it will be a mandatory field, for some people it will just be a non-mandatory or a non-required field, then you use the page layout approach. If you feel that no, this is a mandatory field, there is no way a record can be inserted without this field, no matter who is entering, right? Like account without an account name. Now account name is a required field, and that has to be required by everyone, right? Or maybe first name, last name of a contact. These are required fields. I mean, there cannot exist a contact without a name. So that has to be there. But some fields like phone number, as we were talking. So you might want some people to enter phone number. Some people can skip that part. Got that thing? So this is called universally required. Another thing which we need to understand. So one aspect we have understood of this, right? The one difference is what we talked about. That universally required will be required for everyone. The one that we have made required on the page layout will be required only by the profile which is using that page layout. That's one difference. There's one more difference. Any field which is required on the page layout, any of the page layout, does not have any impact on the backend uploads. If you make a field required on the page layout, that does not affect your backend uploads. Fine. because backend upload is not happening through page layout. That required wala security guard, we have put it on the page layout. So when the data is entered through the page layout, that is checked. But when we are talking about backend upload, when we are talking about data loader does not the data loader does not go through the page layout. So while you are entering the data from the data loader, then there will not be any problem if the field was required only on the page layout. It is not affected by the page layout required fields. But if there is a field which is universally required, that field will be required to be provided even if when you are doing the data loader thing. Got it? So universally required has an impact on data loader uploads. The required fields on page layout does not affect data loader uploads anyhow. Got that thing? Clear on that? So that is the thing. The two differences, or you may have two different types of requirements. One, you might have a requirement to make the field required for everyone, so you make it universally required. Other thing is you might have that requirement of making the field required for certain profiles and not required for some of the profiles, then use the page layout approach. Okay. The other thing can be that you just want the data to be entered when it is being manually entered. You want to make the field required when the data is being manually entered. You don't want that field to be required when the data upload is happening from the backend. In that case also you take the page layout approach, because universally required will make it required for backend upload also. Got that part? So that is about our required fields, and this is this is pretty important stuff. You would need to deal a lot with it in your practical project scenarios and all. You will need to deal a lot with this, right? That which field should be required by whom and which not required. It's more like controlling the permissions and accesses, right? In the same way, not just required, the read-only field will also work in the same way. The read-only property that you see on the page layout, that will also work on the same way. If you make a field completely read-only, then it will be read-only for everyone, right? But if you want some people to be able to edit and some people should not edit, then you have to make it read-only and assign it to their profiles. Got it? The other option that you have is go to the profile and don't give the edit permission on that particular object to some users, right? So all these options are there. You have to see which one is best suited for your requirement and then take one of those approaches. Clear? Are we okay on this? Tell me if you have any questions, any difficulties understanding this. Okay, fine. So that's about page layout. I think we have talked about what we can do with the page layout. Now there is one more thing. If you want to create another page layout, you already have a page layout. If you want to create more, how will you do that? Just go to accounts, then go to page layouts, and then you can click on the new button to create page layout. Alright, so you can clone from an existing page layout and then create your own thing, give it any name, right? Clear? Questions on this? Simple to understand? Any difficulties? Okay, simple stuff. Now the other thing that we have to talk here about is the home page. All objects have page layouts and then there is a home page, Okay. Homepage is basically not connected to any object, right? But you can go and edit the homepage as well. How do you do that? You just go to setup, customize, go to home, and you have homepage layouts here. Okay. So you have these couple of layouts available. You can create new layouts. You have that option. Same way like other objects. Okay. But the components that you see on homepage are different from the other objects. And in any other object or any other tab, you have the fields of the object which are displayed. In homepage, you have other components. Let's see what all components are we talking about here. See, these are the components. Items to approve, list of tasks, calendar, dashboard snapshot, create new button that you see here. So homepage has two sections. One is the narrow section in the left hand side and one is the wide section in the right hand side. So let's say I want to see this create new button and I want to see this recent items in the narrow section. And in the wide section I want to see items to approve, task and calendar. Click on next, save. Okay. See, create new recent items. Okay. And that calendar, items to approve and tasks. All these things have come here on the homepage. Out of this you want to see the task at the top. You can just go and see. For that you just have to go to again home page and set it up. Customize home page layouts, click on edit, go to next, set the order, which one you want to see at the top, tasks I want to see at the top, click on save. Okay, so in home page also you can have multiple home pages, you can create new ones and you can have different page layouts for different profiles. A page layout assignment works the same way for home pages as well. Clear? Question on this? Simple stuff. Okay. So for all other objects, home page is pretty simple, but for all other objects we do have this option of putting the fields the way we want and all that, required field and all that options. Okay, so now we are okay with the page layouts and we also understand the home pages. The next thing that we are going to talk about is email templates. Because there is a lot of data which is stored in Salesforce, Salesforce has a few options which we are going to learn in our coming sessions, where you can automatically send some emails. Automatically send an email means define a logic. Based on the logic, the email will be sent automatically. And Salesforce also has an option of sending mass emails. It also allows you to send mass emails. So this email template is the concept which helps you design the email templates, okay, which can be used for sending mass emails or automated emails. Okay, because even if you want to send a mass email or if you want to send an automated email, you need an email template in place, right? So that email template is to be designed by us, and then we use that template to be sent to multiple users. Okay, so we'll look into how do we design email templates and what are the different types of email templates. Okay, so just give me 1 minute. I'll just be back in a minute.